Hey everyone, this is Nick from the Upfirst team here. In this video, I'm going to show you how to route calls to a caller's responsible staff using Upfirst AI Receptionist and Clio. When a client calls in, they may not always know the name of the responsible staff that they want to speak to. So here's the goal. Your receptionist will automatically look them up in Clio using the last 4 digits of their phone number, find the attorney or staff member responsible for their matter, and then route the call directly to that person. No need to say we'll take a message and have someone call you back later, and no time wasted asking the caller who's your attorney. Your AI receptionist can look up the responsible staff and transfer the call appropriately to that person. Let's take a look at what that sounds like.
Hi, Robert. Thank you for calling Redwood Legal Group. How can I help you today?
Hi, I got some sort of paperwork from Allstate mentioning a deadline of tomorrow. I'm totally confused by it. Could you connect me to an attorney to help make sense of this?
Sure. Let me look up your matter so I can connect you to the right person. One moment, please. I'll connect you to Felix. Please hold.
Oh, this is Felix.
Hey, Felix, it's just Alfredo testing out our integration with Clio.
And by the way, if you're not a technical DIY type of person, that's totally okay. You can reach out to our support team at Upfirst, set up a time for a video call, and we can set this up for you. Part of what makes Upfirst different is we have a team that can jump on a call and set this up for you, along with any other more advanced Clio integrations that you're looking for. I'll plug in the link to book a call with us down below in the description. But if you are a technical do-it-yourself person, you can just follow along with this video. Now, with that said, let's get into it. Okay, so in order to set this up, we'll actually need to build 2 separate custom actions for this to work. The first one searches for the caller's contact ID in Clio. That's the first action. The second uses the contact ID to look up their matter and locate their responsible staff. The key concept is chaining 2 actions together. The output of the first action becomes the input of the second. Keep that in mind as we build. A few things you'll want in place before starting. First, your Clio account connected to Upfirst with API access authorized. You'll need a valid access token for these actions to authenticate. If you don't know how to do this part, we'll walk through it in just a few moments. Second, and this may go without saying, make sure your contacts in Clio have phone numbers stored, and that those numbers match the format your callers dial from. The last 4-digit match only works if the data's there. One last thing, this custom action build is for Clio Manage, not Clio Grow. There are actually 2 separate products from Clio. Clio Grow is geared more towards client intake, where Clio Manage is built more for the practice management side after a lead becomes an active client. Okay, now let's connect Clio with Upfirst. This is a one-time setup using OAuth. This basically just gives Upfirst the permission it needs to be able to actually talk with your Clio Manage account. So the first thing that you'll need to do is log into your Clio Manage account and then head over to the developer portal. You can also just enter in developers.clio.com/apps. I'll make sure to provide that link down below in the description. Once you're on that page, we'll go ahead and click New App. You will need to enter in a few fields like name, website URL, and then the redirect URL. For name, just give it something like Upfirst Integration. For the website URL, just go ahead and grab the website homepage of Upfirst. I'll also make sure to provide all the links down below in the description, so that way you have easy access to it. For the redirect URL, you're going to need to go into your Upfirst dashboard, go into the custom actions area, and then head over to OAuth connections, and you'll find the callback URL here. Just go ahead and copy that and paste it into the box. Agreements, make sure you check that. And then these are just all the permissions you need. Just make sure to check everything here. There is unfortunately no check all option. And then the only thing that we will not check is the payments. And then go ahead and then click save. Okay, once you save the app, Clio gives you two critical values that we'll need to connect to Upfirst: a client ID and a client secret. Treat them like a password, don't share it, don't put it in a screen recording. Copy both somewhere safe for the next step. You can find it by clicking on the name of your app underneath the name. Now, jump back into Upfirst. Go to Agent, and go to Custom Actions, and then click the OAuth Connections tab right here. On this page, click Add Connection, and start populating in the fields. Connection name, give it Clio Manage. Provider name is Clio. And then that client ID you paste here. Client secret. And then for the authorization URL, I have the link right here, which I will paste down below in the description. It's just app.clio.com/OAuth/authorize. And then for the token URL, we will use this right here. And then that's all that we need to input, and then just click save. Okay, so now that the API details are saved, we just need to connect it. You will see the connect button right here. Hit that, it'll take you through a login process with Clio. You'll be redirected to Clio's authorization screen. Just hit allow access, and then it'll take you back to Upfirst. You should see a confirmed or connected status in Upfirst. With API access set up, let's start building the first action. Okay, so let's head back over into the main custom actions page. From here, we'll click add custom action. Make sure to click during the call because we want this action to run during the call when the receptionist is on the phone with the caller. For the action name, give it the title, find contact by phone. And then we'll paste these instructions in. As soon as a call comes in, run this action silently in the background using the caller ID so that if the caller asks to be transferred, you can immediately find who the responsible party so you can run that action and transfer them. I'll make sure to leave these instructions down below in the description so that way you can just easily copy and paste it in. And then click next. Now we need to add a variable. Click add variable and give it the name last for, and then we'll go ahead and give it this description. Take the user's caller ID, the number that they are calling from, and search for their contact in Clio using the last 4 digits of their ID. And then fill it in with an example like 2171. Once we have those variables added in, we'll go ahead and add in the endpoint URL. It's going to be a get because we're retrieving information, and then we'll just paste this link in, which I'll leave down below in the description. And then from here, because we already connected the OAuth, we'll just need to select the OAuth right here, and we'll go down and select the connection, and it's Clio Manage. For this action, we don't need to fill out header or query parameters, so we can just move on to the next step. Click Next. Receptionist fallback message, you can feel free to change this to whatever your preference is. I'll just leave it as the default for now. Always test before moving on. So we'll go ahead and scroll down and click Run Test and wait for it to complete. If it comes back with data from Clio, then the run was successful and you'll get a success message like this. Go to the next page. Before saving the action, I mean, this is totally your preference. You can deselect all the fields here. The only real information that we need is the data.id. That's the contact ID found in Clio. So that's the only information that we need. So we'll just leave that checked. You can leave these other names checked if you prefer, but for the next action to work, all that we really need is the data ID, and then we'll click Save Action. Okay, the first custom action is done. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, so now let's create the second custom action. This is the action that will use the contact ID found in the previous action to search a matter within Clio and find the contacts or the client's responsible party so that way it knows who it should be transferring to. So go ahead and click Add Custom Action once again. And of course, select during the call. For the action name, we'll give it find responsible staff. And then down in the instructions, we'll give it these instructions. After finding a contact in Clio, find the responsible party so that you can transfer the call to the appropriate person. I'll go ahead and leave those instructions down below in the description for you so you can easily copy and paste those yourself. Go ahead and click Next. Next, we'll add a variable here. Make sure it's marked as required and give it the name Clio underscore contact underscore ID. And we'll go ahead and give it this description right here. Let me grab it and paste it in the description box. It says the value that was returned after looking up a person in Clio. And then just give it the example 25124 to 8500. Okay, on down to the request configuration. We will go ahead and use this link right here for the endpoint URL. And again, it's a GET because we are retrieving information. And then for the OAuth, go ahead and select your connection with Clio. And again, we don't need any header values, no query parameters. So we'll just go ahead and click Next. Again, you could change the receptionist fallback message if you wish. For now, we'll just leave it for the default. And then, of course, we'll need to run a test. So go ahead and fill in the sample variable right there. Run test. Okay, so once that test runs successfully and it pulls the data correctly, we'll go ahead and go to the next page again. And you can just deselect all search fields. The only real piece of data that we need is data.responsiblestaff.name. Make sure that one's checked, and then we'll save action. Okay, so now that those two custom actions are done and saved, we'll move on to step 2.5, which is actually setting up the call transfer part of it. We're done with custom actions now. The next step will be a lot easier to set up. Okay, so from here, we'll go over to the transfer calls tab on the left-hand side over here, and we will click Add Transferring Rule. Under this rule, give it the name of the person that is receiving the call transfer. This is the person that is the responsible staff. For this example, we'll do Felix Dubinsky. We'll give it these instructions underneath. When should we transfer the call? I'll go ahead and copy and paste them in. Transfer the call in the following scenarios. After finding a caller's responsible staff in Clio, and their responsible staff is Felix Dubinsky. Message before transfer, this is your preference. You can set it to be whatever you want. For this example, we'll just do, I'll connect you to Felix. Please hold for 1 moment. Then transfer destinations, give it a label, Felix, put in their phone number. And that's essentially all you need. The rest is just preferences, whether you want a cold transfer versus warm transfer, whether you want the transfer to show Upfirst number or the caller's actual ID. If no one picks up, you can send it to Felix's voicemail, or you can just have it go back to the receptionist where they can take a message. And then call recording. The call recording stops at the transfer, or you can transfer the full call even after the call is transferred. And then you can also restrict call transfers by time, so that way, if you don't want things transferring to you after hours, for example. And then go ahead and then click Create Rule. And that's all that you need to set up call transfer rules. You will do this for every single responsible staff that you need calls to be transferred to. Just set it up the same way. Instead of Felix, it could be somebody else's name, like John Smith, for example. And that's it. This setup turns your AI receptionist into a smart router that gets clients to the right person when they ask to speak to their responsible staff. If this was helpful, give it a like and subscribe for more Upfirst tutorials. If you've set everything up and still need some assistance, no worries. You can book a call at the link in the description, or you can head over to the bottom right of your Upfirst portal and click the question mark right here. Go to Messages and shoot our team a message. During business hours, we're pretty quick to answer. What's great about Upfirst is our support team is pretty hands-on if you have any questions or need some help. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.